Hey, Vikings.com, what's going on? Vikings Entertainment Network, your announcer Paul Allen, producer of my radio show, 9 to noon at KFAN, Eric Nordquist, Paul Charchian, fanball.com, and with the VEN and former Vikings linebacker Ben Lieber. We just did 18 frenzied segments of radio from the Indianapolis Scouting Combine. Super fun as usual. We thank the Vikings for their assistance, not only with Mike Zimmer, but Rick Spielman for basically 40 minutes of interviews with them. End of the equation, Chart, you first. What were some lasting impressions?
This looks like a draft that matches up with the team's needs really, really well. The Vikings need offensive line. They need some defensive tackle help. Both are really, really deep. And so in every spot that the Vikings make a selection in those places, they may get a player who's like a round better than they would get in a different year. So yeah. I think it's a good time for the Vikings to be drafting for need this year specifically.
Ben?
Yeah, and I would agree with that, specifically just the offensive line. With finally a draft where we're not concentrated on who's the top quarterback that's going to be taken at number one.
Yeah.
It sounds like, yes, there are the rumors that Kyler Murray could be that guy, but it is going to be a defensive-heavy top of the draft, which means that a lot of the really talented offensive linemen, both on the outside and the inside, are going to probably fall down into the draft, into that late teens area where the Vikings are. So it's a really good setup for the Vikings to get a high quality first-round offensive lineman if that's what they want to do.
Now, before the draft, the reality of it is with free agency, and, we're certainly not going to sit here and speculate and or guess at Vikings.com which way the personnel and or the coaches are going to go, but a lot of uncomfortable conversations and very difficult decisions are set to be made. The one everybody knows about is Anthony Barr being an unrestricted free agent and what's coming up next, but there are some weird things coming down the road, right, guys?
Some tough decisions for a team that currently, right at the moment, is 30th in salary cap space available. So you just can't keep everybody you'd like to keep, and Anthony Barr is going to command a monster salary on the free agent market. And I don't think he's just not fiscally part of the Vikings' plans realistically.
Yeah, this is the part of the game where they say it's a business.
Yep.
And you develop these relationships and emotional ties to certain players, and you see how they perform, and you want that to continue forever. But money is a part of it, and that's where the business comes in. So it's not just going to be Barr. There's going to be other, I think, tough situations and players that they're going to have to amend or release. So this, again, every year there's turnover. But this year, I think for the Vikings, there's going to be top-heavy turnover with marquee guys and names that people are familiar with that are no longer going to be on the team.
And last one, we have about a minute to go. Kirk Cousins into his second season as Vikings quarterback. Kevin Stefanski, the offensive coordinator. The senior offensive advisor and associate head coach is Gary Kubiak. New quarterbacks coach Clint Kubiak. Year 2 for Kirk Cousins. What do you expect?
He needs to get a lot better, and we need to put a lot more help around him to get better. Offensive line just limited so much of what he was able to do last season. We need more help from a third receiver as well.
Yeah.
We need Dalvin Cook to stay healthy. But with all of the changes that are coming, I wouldn't be surprised if it takes us a month or 2 months to really get that offense clicking. We're going to have a very different offensive line, and we may have a new starter at third receiver. There's going to be a lot of change. I think it may take a while to get all those moving parts in place, along with the new coaching staff.
I want to see more shoulders down from Kirk Cousins. I want to see him play looser. That's it. Regardless of what our offensive line looks like, regardless of what our weapons on the outside and who's toting the rock, I want to see him make some off-schedule plays.
Yeah.
That's it. I think that's the only thing that's missing a part of his game, and hopefully having a system that he's at least familiar with when it comes to the verbiage and having Stefanski there, I think he has the ability to just let it fly.
And this certainly was a good starting point for Kirk with 4,000 passing yards and 30 touchdowns. Can't wait to watch it get better next year. For Paul Charchian and Ben Lieber, I'm Paul Allen. Continued coverage of free agency, everything Vikings, and of course through the draft provided right here at Vikings.com.